Hi guys, how are you? My name is Lisa Kanyumazuroboni, and this is Conversations with Kanyumazi, a podcast where we talk about everything and anything to do with life for us to learn, share, laugh, educate, commune, or just give serious banter. And we've talked through mental health, we talked through quotes, we talked through romance. We had a couple interviews on menstrual health throughout the year, and we're just trying to build consistency, guys. Like, I'm doing my level best. So by the time I'm recording this, it's so far from June, but we have to get it done regardless. And for this entire month, I'm having one specific guest, and she happens to be my best friend. I really wanted to have her on the podcast multiple times when it was a channel. Wow. When it was a channel and all these different things. But I also felt like at that time, it had been so long since people had seen Pearl's face. So we waited it out till, she was like, surprised me and flew into the country just to look at me for a week. That's a story in my head. I don't know about anyone else. So hi, Pearl.
How are you?
I'm okay. Why are you making it seem like I'm the noisy one in our relationship?
Because you are.
That's only when there are no people.
Because you are. You're very new.
Whatever. Anyway, so tell us about yourself. Just like 1-2 things. Nothing boring. Let me guide you. How and what's your favorite? What's your favorite thing in the world? Yeah.
Damn. Okay, of course. Hi guys. My name is Pearl, aka Miss P. What's my favorite thing?
An artist.
I don't know, but I can tell you definitely what I do. I'm into the events and entertainment scene. So yeah.
This woman hasn't said it's me that's her favorite thing, but it's okay. That's how friendships end.
I know exactly where you're going with that. So yeah.
Like, the best thing that happened to you. Say it. Keep it going.
So the best thing that happened to me was meeting Lisa in 2012.
Oh my God, I didn't think you'd say that.
I hope you guys know that I'm being paid for this. So yeah, I'm giving all the right answers.
Gosh, love it. It felt so good just hearing that. Anyway, let's get into our conversation. So if you don't know, now you know Pearl and I have been friends for 11 years, going on to 12. Bro, we're a whole teenager to be. And we have had a very beautiful friendship, I would say. Very beautiful friendship. It's been seamless, it's been growing, it's been learning, it's been evolving. And I think like friendships is one of the core things in my personal life. And even in my book, I write about friendship, but I wouldn't know what friendship looks or feels like without having Pearl in my life. So like, I just want to like owe that and honor that conversation through having a conversation with Pearl. So I'm going to interview you, and then we can have like everyone has their own idea of how the answers will go. So the first question I have is, when did our friendship start? Not when did our friendship start?
So our friendship started 30th January 2012.
What's the date?
It was on Monday. And so basically, I remember I went boarding school at the time, and I think it was Lisa's first day, right?
Yeah, it was my first day.
So I came back from the weekend, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, there's this new girl in class, and she shares a birthday with you." I was like, "Excuse me." It's just me. It's really just me born on this day. And then so I walk into class, and there's this absolutely adorable chubby girl, and I'm just like, oh, Puchki, she's
so called me adorable.
Yeah, so cute. She was literally so cute. And then so then we became friends. Obviously, we bonded first. I feel like we first bonded over our birthday, and then over time we actually became proper friends because we hated the school. And this one time I found Lisa in the bathroom crying. Guys, I cried.
Oh, we're such big babies. I could always be crying about being in school. And then it was so nice to be comforted. The equal baby.
So yeah, that's basically that's as much as I can remember the beginning of our friendship.
That's definitely that. I think obviously the way our friendship started definitely mirrors. The first thing I was thinking was I'd never met someone born on 29th January. So I was just like, of all the days, this is the person I decided
Literally.
to share my birthday. But I think for me, our friendship really started for some reason. Like I found her, she was already like at guys, if you went to high school with us, this is my personal take of events. For some reason, this girl was like alpha madam in the friend group, right? And then like, and somehow, like it just like we just started. We now had to share powers. I don't know if that makes sense, but like now, once we're now the official double leads. I don't know if this makes sense, but I swear down, it just happened like that because then we became like we'd be the ones who'd be like, guys, we're going to walk here, guys, we're doing this, guys, we're doing that, guys, we're doing, and then we'd be the ones cocooning and just watching everyone do their thing. So that's really how our friendship started. And if you see us in public, it's still the same way. We're not like alpha madams because anybody gets time for that anymore. We're adults, but like we're always just sitting cocooning. What?
Absolutely. We're really not. I think we're very changed. Not I think
We're so grown, guys. We're so sorry.
we're very changed people in today, and this is really back then. This is 11 years ago. So please do not come with the same energy today.
Don't do it. Yeah, but we're still Batman. That's all I gotta
say. Hey yo.
I think you've answered the second question, which was what was your first impression of me? Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I just really liked your hair. And then you were rolling your eyes, which is just that thing that you still do. So I was semi-terrified, but then my feelings of not wanting to share my birthday overpowered the fear that I possibly could have had of you. Like, because Paul's eyes, they only got worse with it. I think that's my first impression. Do you have any other first impression of me?
No, that was really it. I feel like you're just so adorable and so cute.
I agree. What was our first fight and how long did it last? Have we ever fought? I think we have, though.
We have, and I don't think you remember this, but as Lisa's mentioned, we were quite bad-mannered. So I think in high school there was this girl, I can't remember the entire story, but what I do know is, so this girl was having a fight with someone, and I remember just making it worse for everyone. I just kept doing everything to make it worse. And so this one time, Lisa finds out that it's me actually causing so much drama. Like, the situation wasn't ending. Guys, this girl came up to me and she's like, you absolutely need to stop because this is so fake. And like, she called me out like bullshit, guys. I was stunned to speak. I was so shocked. I literally could not believe what this girl had just done.
But someone had called her out.
Literally. But yeah, I feel like that was the first time I was like, how the hell can this girl do this to me? Like, I really thought you were my friend because at the time...
And you're supposed to be on my side.
Exactly. At the time, it was like, who would check me? You know, it was like, why are you checking me? If you check me, then you're not my friend type. That was my mentality and perspective at the time.
Actually, I know this fight so well. I just thought you didn't remember it. I know it so well.
I actually took some time to think about it.
I know this so, and then for some, because obviously this chick was all in her feelings because she had been called out, but actually she wasn't doing the wrong thing. So we sort of had like a ridge situation between now the heads of the table. So now everyone has to split because like some are gonna be here, some are gonna be there because now me and Paul are not seeing eye to eye. And I remember Paul is my mom obviously I'm the social one in our friendship, so I have a lot of friends. And my mom is she's a very unbothered about my social life. She's like, oh, hi. But the one person my mother has ever vouched for in friendship is Paul. Because I think I went home for I was a weekly boarder. So I went home and then she asked me about Paul. And I was like, I'm not talking to her. And then mom said, no. Like, no, you have a problem with sustaining friendships. And when I tell you, Paul is literally the blueprint for anything that comes to friendship. That's where it started. Like, you have a problem with sustaining friendships, fix it. That's your only friend that I like. And I think that's when we talked about me coming over to Paul's house. And then eventually we did a sleepover at her house. And then we went back to our friendship. But ideally, that was where we're about to now not be celebrating 12 years.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like that was like proper the end, actually. Yeah.
And we haven't fought again since then. And we actually have pictures. I don't even know how we sustained that day at your house. The pictures that we have of me wearing the big shades and you having the afro. Because we're not at 100, but we're just like, we just have to chill with each other. Things we can do.
We're actually just forcing things.
Yeah, but see, we're forcing when. Sometimes first life, you guys, even on your relationships, just saying.
I feel about that.
How do you think our relationship has evolved over the length of our friendship?
Damn. Honest, bro, this answer, I thought so hard about this because, guys, first of all, there's been so much growth in this friendship. So much growth, as I've told you. By the way, what I didn't mention in the previous question was that you couldn't check me, nor could you check Lisa. So,
I don't want anyone to tell me anything.
In relation to this question, I feel like now we've grown and we're able to have honest and earnest conversations with each other when you just feel like someone's doing the wrong thing in a manner not aggressive or, that attacks the other person. And it's also evolved in the way we communicate with each other. I feel like when we first started out, there was a little bit of, can I tell her this? Can I tell her that? In as much as she's my best friend type of thing. But now it's kind of like, this is me. This is where I'm at. This is what's happening. Like, it is what it is. Like, are you going to take it or leave it type of thing? And I had something else to say. It's also evolved in the way we have more friends. I feel like when Miss and I started out as friends, it was really just us kind of thing. I felt like it was us against the world type of thing. And for me, I didn't really see the point in having many other friends. Also because in this friendship, I am not as social as Lisa. So by default, I don't have as many friends as she does type of thing. Yeah.
Let me tell you guys, I struggle with that last point. I struggle. And it's only working because we don't live in the same country. Because if Paul was so friendly in Kampala, I would God give me that grace. Anyway, but we're agreeing. I still feel like it's us against the world, whatever. I definitely agree with the points that you've given. But also, I think one of the things that we've evolved in this friendship is the realization that things take work. Like, even with you saying there's stuff that you could say, stuff you couldn't say. Let me tell you guys, full disclosure, Paul and I couldn't talk about sex for like 10 years at least.
It's too soon. We just started a podcast.
We just started here like this. But no, it's just also it came from a place of we knew each other from like 12 and 13. Yeah. And then now we talk about stuff it can't. But over time we have been able to that, and like it takes time, but it also takes work. Another thing that and that will be like my full topic and then my subtopics. And then another thing is like Paul and I, it's so hard for us to be vulnerable. Like you can see that the other person is struggling, and because you know this person so well, you are like you want to help them, but they won't let you. Like there's so many times when I know Paul's struggling and I'm just like, okay, so tell me what's up. And she, she dances around it. Or I'm struggling and she's like, Lisa, like call me and tell me what's going on. And I'm just like, I'm not. I'm just not. But I feel like over the past at least 2 years, it's been easier. Like before we wouldn't even talk about it at all, but now we're at a point where sometimes we'll talk about it when it's happening, and other times we'll talk about it when it's done happening, but at least like this has happened and that has happened. I feel like for some time it was much, much harder for us. So it's easier for us to be vulnerable. And that also just goes a long way into our other relationships, because like whatever we're like the testing or the practicing ground for our manners, and then we can it easily trickles down into like family, into romantic relationship, into other friendships and things like that. But also, and then I think don't disturb my head, don't cause me head pain. And another thing that I think also like effort, like what I've learned and what has helped us evolve is like effort matters. One of the things I hate, everyone knows I hate is phone calls. Like, to get me on the phone, that's a joke. That's a lie. You're kidding. But Paul and I have been doing a long distance friendship for what, 5 years now?
We've been doing a long distance friendship for, I think it's 8 years. It's been 6 years.
Yeah, the longest has been 6 years. And I will be on the phone 2 hours with this girl at least once a week. And guys, don't even try to fight me with this when you hear this podcast. It's just that this chick she has persevered, because I feel like for the first, I think 3 to 4 years, it was so hard to get me on a call. And until she found her formula, and she just like, like, this is what we're doing. And it's like effort matters and effort counts, even through it. We've even found like alternate ways to keep like in touch, keep in the know. So we'll text each other like on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on WhatsApp, then like go through. Like I feel like if Paul just texts me only twice a day, I'm just like, and then so you have other things to do. So like effort, vulnerability, and the first thing I said, I've forgotten it. How do you think? Oh yeah, so you mentioned this with your.
I wanted to also mention, this is just a disclaimer, by the way, guys. I feel like this relationship, a lot of times people think it's been such a smooth journey. I can't even lie, but there's been years, literally 365 days of us where it just feels like, yeah, we're close, but like it could be better type of thing. So if you're out there and you have a best friend and you feel like you guys are almost falling apart or whatever, it takes work. As Lisa said, it takes work. Yeah.
At hot work, and that's come from both sides, because if it doesn't, also like understand what you want from a friendship as well. Like I think that helps guide you, because for me, when also on that evolve thing, like it's a thing of, remember when we fought and then we're not talking and we're about to break up. This was like in our first year friendship.
Yeah.
And then 12 years later, I just feel like, where will Paul go? Like, that's just like, I feel like we are in sort of like a marriage. When I get Uganda's anti-homosexual, people just chill me. And a marriage in the sense of like, it's not abusive, it's not a bad place, but we just have, like, we understand that there's nowhere we're going. So whatever is going on, like, we have to fix it.
We just
go back.
Yeah.
And then we'll be friends again, because as opposed to... Yeah. There's no other ending for me. So you mentioned this in the beginning, and through your submissions on character accountability. Both of us are hard-headed. Both of us think we're so wise. And how do we deal with character accountability in our friendship? And I want us to answer it from the sense of like, how does Lisa deal with Pearl's, and how does Pearl deal with Lisa's? Not necessarily how the feedback feels. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Let me talk about how you keep me accountable, right? So if for whatever reason something has happened, first of all, one thing about us, always gentle. Keep it gentle, keep it kind. You know, I feel like there's nothing in the world that requires you to be aggressive. Like that's just me. So I feel like this is always one person who she knows how to talk to me. She knows how to approach the situation without offending me and making me cool. What I've done is probably wrong or whatever it is, but it's a thing of hey. Can we have a conversation? And obviously, can we have a conversation? That's not how we start our conversation every other day. So it's going to be a thing of what's going on, what is it like, what's happening. And she'll probably let me know, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. Maybe I can have a conversation today, or can we do tomorrow, depending. And then obviously we have the conversation. And I just feel like, yeah, really, that's at least that's how. And I feel like the reverse is true as well. I feel like I do the same for you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's really a thing of let me know, like especially if there's a problem, let me know what the topic is beforehand, just so I can also prepare myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not coming from a place of I'm angry at like I'm still mad at whatever it is. Like I'm chilling right now, so let's have the conversation. Even in the responses that I'll give you, it's gonna be from a place of I've actually thought through this and I'm aware of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking from a place of anger or anything type of thing.
Yeah, I think that's correct, 101%. Grace and being kind is something that we really do think about when we're going to check ourselves. Like, obviously, we know our temperaments because we're both mad women. So whenever like I'm high on the feelings, either hurt or anger, it takes some like Paul. We're like, okay, all right, let's talk about this at the end of the week, and then we can like finish that conversation. If she can like sense that I'm still like edgy at the end of the week, like no, that's okay. Let's talk back like midweek. Let's have another conversation. Just because we're understanding that we're people and people are going to react differently depending on how their emotions are. So back to the beginning, Paul and I don't like being checked. So ideally, we're going to be high in our emotions and we're probably going to get mad if you don't like read the room and think about how you're addressing something. But I think another way that we do character accountability is just understanding your friend and understanding their character. For example, Paul will not hear things if you shout at her. Like if you're firm with her, like she'll put like a wall up or a guard and she won't hear anything you have to say in regards to the conversation. Like you can feel like it's not penetrating, it's not going anywhere. So you have to be like, okay, so friend, and then pass it. But at the end of the day, it's your decision and you can tell me what you think about it. But this is what I was thinking. And maybe you can think it through. Like that's how Palex really talk to. She doesn't like hard things. Now, me on the other hand, if you talk to me like that, we are not going to reach any point. Like you have to. That's why I think also she gauges a room before she speaks to me, because it's a thing of if you don't talk to me with firmness, nothing is going to change. Like I'm just gonna be like, okay, so if you're soft to me, I just don't know how to do it. So she'll just like, you know what? This is what you've done. This is what's wrong. This is what you should do. Think about this. A, B, C, and D. Like it's like a classroom conversation. She doesn't have time for my feelings. Doesn't have time for my emotions. When she's checking me, it's time to check me and finish, because she understands that her friend. Talk it out softly. You might as well just look at the wall and just say nothing, because that's the same thing you'll be doing.
Just the conversation is done. It's done. Done. We're never going to address it again unless the situation happens again or something similar. But if it's done, it's done. That's it. We're not having it again.
Yeah. And also just be teachable, guys. Like don't let your friends. Don't be annoying. Don't let your friends repeat things like multiple times. Like even when it's not necessarily to do with me and Paul's relationship, and she's just holding me accountable for something to do with another friendship, something to do with another situation. It's a thing that I'm even when I come back with the same story, I'm just like self-aware. Like I know you said this last week, but then this and this happened, and then this happened. Now me, I'm just telling you now as KB. I'm not telling you for your check because I know where I went wrong. I'm just telling you as a recap, because like be able to learn and like change your behavior or whatever, but don't make your friend constantly repeat stuff. Like especially to do with like other like situations that are harmful and might cause you stress, cause your friends stress. Don't have them like repeating stuff multiple times. Okay. And then, so I don't think we've had another fight, babe, but if we used to fight often, how would we deal with conflict resolution?
I feel like, first of all, Lisa and I really don't like things that stress nor tire us. If we'd been fighting in the past or have plans of fighting in the future, I know if we fight for a whole year, in a year we have 4 to 5 fights, that's the end. That's really the end.
Yeah. And then even like fights, like we're just disagreeing.
Yeah. But we do disagree like maybe every once in 2 years.
That's also true. But it's because we're good people.
Yeah.
We are our friends. But how would you deal with conflict resolution? You're not answered.
Lisa, I'll let you go first on this one because, I'll let you go first on this one for quite a couple of reasons. But yeah,
I'm dead. Anyway, personally, I believe in addressing things like when they're still hot, if that makes any sense. Because a friendship it's a relationship, right? And it touches your emotions, it touches your feelings, it affects your mood, it affects who you are. And the thing is, I can't be mad at Pub because I need her to fix something in the next 2 hours. So if I was ever to fight with her, if it's that big of an issue, maybe I'll give it a week. I would never pass 2 weeks in being mad at Paul if we used to fight. Why? Because I want us to deal with the things in the now. I don't think, like, I had this on a podcast. Paul has a track record of loving me, of caring for me, of supporting me, of being present for me, of not hurting me. So if she ever did anything that, was the opposite of that, I would have to address it soon so we can tackle it, as opposed to me resenting, if that makes any sense, like resenting her or being mad at her or stuff like that. Oh my God, I think we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about it, but I remember us talking about it. I think there's a time I just felt like, Paul, you're not reposting stuff. And I had to realize, we did. So I was like, Paul, like, do you support my shit or not? Like, why aren't you reposting stuff? Like, I need you to be posting. And then she just told me, Lisa, I don't like being present on social media. Like, I support you fully and I care for you. And it's not like I'm not supporting you, I'm not being present or whatever. I just don't like to be perceived on social media, and I'll do it. Paul's the type of person who will post consecutively for 3 weeks and then she'll delete her entire feed. And then now we're like, hey, so why did you create that content to begin with? But like her making that, so as opposed to me now feeling, oh my God, so everyone else posting me, but my best friend is not posting me. Does she love me? Does she care for me? We adjusted right there and then. I understood her, because at the end of the day, yes, bro, you've said it to be public, but that doesn't mean everyone in your life is going to be like a public entity. Like, they have their separate reservations to social media. They have, and like, don't take things personal. Don't make yourself like, let the world not be you don't revolve around the world. Like, listen to your friends and adjust it, deal with it, talk over it. I know she supports me with all of her heart, like all of her heart. If she could give her left hand to support me or her right hand, she would. So that's how I feel like I would deal with conflict, or that's how we deal with our disagreements. It's a thing of, okay, this has happened, mother did, tell me what's your side, let's how we're going to resolve it, let's walk away from it, take a minute to breathe, come back, because where are you going?
For me, I agree and disagree with you, because I'm not one to deal with situations in the now. I need first of all, I need time to process and to think, to breathe, because I know I'm quite I have a very heavy mouth. If I did approach you with in the now, I'm going to end up saying things that I'll probably regret at some point, things I genuinely didn't mean. So it's better for me to, I'll need like a couple of days to kind of think about it. And it's the type of thing. So like a week would be good. And then obviously the next week I'm like, so what happened last week? type of thing. But yeah, with everything else you've said, 110%, man. It's like once it's done, it's done. You know, let's not revisit when something happens. Like, oh, but you know, even the other time, ain't no time for that. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. The next question is: do you think envy is a natural feeling? Envy or jealousy, really? And how do you deal with it so it does not affect our relationship? Now, this is in the sense of like we're adults, we're growing, things fluctuate and change. Like this could be winning season for me, and like you're really struggling through this season. That could be winning season for you, and I'm really struggling through this season. And I feel like envy is so natural. And like I base this question off of at the time when Paul was going to uni, was going to Canada. Like it's something we had prayed for, we had really hoped would come through, and it did. But also in that time, it was like a bittersweet moment for me because that's the time my family was going through like heavy financial issues and I couldn't get to school. And it was, I don't even think I want to call it like jealousy, but it's just like, bro, I want to be in school too. You get? So do you think it's natural, and how do you deal with it? And I think I'll go first, then you can go.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
So I think it's natural. It's just natural. Like we're human beings, different seasons and different things. How I deal with it is personal. So I'm not going to like impose. Like Paul won't know about it. Like it's not something that she'll know. Me, I'm going to come through and give her 101% in this friendship. And I also bring more discussion up because people are like, people are so fake. Girl friendships are so fake. You know, people don't want to roll for you or what. I'm just like, guys, don't even try. But in the same breath, so I acknowledge my feelings. I'm like, okay, so you're feeling bad because of A, B, C, and D. But at the end of the day, situations happen, circumstances happen. Your responsibility here is to be present and celebrate this with Paul and follow through. Follow through. Feel your things sour, good, but follow through, celebrate your person. This is something she's wanted for the longest time, even when it comes like with work or life, just generally. Like in my head, I'm just like, it's okay to feel a type of way for a minute. Don't let it manifest, don't let it whatever. But follow through and support your person through and through. Don't let bad feelings manifest, because also good things don't happen to bad people. So that's it. Yeah. What do you think?
I do think envy is a natural feeling, definitely part of life cycle. But how do you deal with it, and how does it affect the relationship? I feel like also, Lisa, you know, I'm not one to, you know, kind of, I feel like when it's especially to do with you, I'm always very happy for you. So think of like, oh, this is happening for her. How I feel like I've never looked at anything from your life with the thing of, damn, like something is not happening for me. But yeah, this is like great things are happening for you, which a lot of times, so many things are not happening for me. And there's a lot happening for you type of thing, you know what I mean? And it's never been, I feel like for me, I always look at it from a place of there's something within me that I'm lacking. If ever I feel envious of you, there's a place within me that, you know, that I need to feel. There's a void that I need to feel. So I've never felt envious of you in anything, in any way, even though, life's happening for you and it's not happening for me at that particular time. I feel like I'm always more than happy for you, and I'm always going 10,000 yards, you know, type of thing, 10,000 yards, and like, yeah, I'm celebrating your wins and yeah, type of thing.
Well, that's so interesting. Like that's different. Why do you feel like there's a lack in you?
Because I feel like wherever there's, personally, I believe wherever there's envy, it's like, let me say envy and jealousy. It's like, oh, I really want the hand she has, or I've always wanted it. Now you have it. Like, you know, like it's driving me crazy. That gratification that bug is gonna give me, like, it's like I want to be better than you, at least for me. And just, I'm not trying to be better than you. Like, I'm really, trying
It's
to.
not a competition.
It's not a competition. I'm trying to enjoy my life, and I want you to live your best life, and I just want us to live our best life. So if I ever feel that way, then it's like, why for what, why exactly do I want to be better than, or why am I feeling like this thing is affecting me, type of thing. I feel like it's a very personal thing, and if it does happen, if it has ever occurred, or if it will ever happen, it will be something that, as you've said, I will deal with personally, and you will probably never ever find out about it.
You remember Sophie, we're supposed to tell each other everything.
But then how? I feel like it'll change. Low key, high key. I feel like there's that little thing. It's like I'll tell you, and then be like, "Hey, so that means when I do this, then it's going to affect her."
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Your life and be like, I'm not going to tell Paul this because I don't know. She might not be so happy for me. Like I need to celebrate fully and entirely, type of thing.
Okay, just pay us to be your best friend gurus because I agree. That's all I know. And my follow-up for that is time comes with change. How do you deal with change in our friendship? Because I mean, I won't keep saying going on 12 years. Obviously, I feel like our change has been good rather than like bad. Like we've had like very monumental change. Like it's only gotten better. Like our relationship, because we keep evolving and we keep getting to know each other more and we keep understanding each other more and we keep being more present. Our friendship goes, stronger and deeper over the years. But then also I feel like there's a time lapse when you had left Uganda, and obviously like communication with us was, a type of way because your girl doesn't do phone calls. And how did you deal with that change at that time? And how would you deal with change like in the future?
So I don't know if you know this, so there's been two of those times, twice that has happened. So the very first time when I came to Canada, I feel like one, I gave it time, and I'm a firm believer of if it's really meant to be, everything will align itself as long as you're putting in the work. Communication never ever stopped, but and I feel like that was around the time when we're kind of navigating phone calls, audios, type of thing, back-to-back conversations on Instagram, on Snapchat type of thing. And then we somehow got the hang of it, and I don't know, we used to talk, we'd send pictures, and yeah, that was us dealing with the season. And then I remember in 2020 when I came back, I think I shared this with you, I don't know if you remember. I remember at some point in the pandemic, we were not talking as much as we used to. And at some point, I kept thinking to myself, and also because I think for me, I was also thinking about it from a place of, I don't know when next I'll be in Uganda. And because I know my friend moves extremely mad. This girl is what they call move on. Like she will move on from you, by the way, nicely. So, yeah, I remember at some point I was like, bruh, like, is it just me? Is it my delusion? Like, I feel like this thing is going to end because communication was literally close to none. And even when you communicate, that conversation is really not conversating. It's like, hey, yeah, and that's really everything. And I feel like towards the end of the year, everything just started lining up. Everything just started lining up. Let
me even make you laugh. But I feel like that was a time when you got that police car to like come and pick me up from my home and I sleep at your house. Yeah. That time. Yeah.
So around that time, and then after when I also came back. Yeah.
That's so interesting because like I'd never thought about it that way. Because even when I know the lags, I know the exact lags. There's even a picture that just came to mind from our chats when you were wearing pink, and I think you were at a restaurant with Harvey, and you just sent it to me.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like, oh my God, I'm like our relationship is going to. Obviously, I figured like we're not talking like as much, but I never thought about it like, oh, like there's a point when we can end because of like communication. That's interesting, guys. Okay. I think for me, it's a thing of, again, and that's where I feel like both of us we've agreed that we're like, I will just tell you, madam. No, like, and then like Paul will like quiet it out until she's able to address it, or she feels like she's able to address it, which is so cute because you can think she's the one who has a lot of noise, but and then the final question is, we both dislike the concept of sharing each other, but we're adults now. Me, I'm not an adult, honestly. When I see Paul with her other friends, I'm just like if you want me to be quiet, put me on a table with Paul and her other friends. I'm just like, so you're interesting. I think I should know you. That's a wow. Wow. That's nice. That's so great. I don't like sharing. I don't like share good things. Do you share good things? Share good things?
I do.
Okay, me I don't. How have you managed, knowing especially that I make new friends? And I feel like I don't know how you manage, because if I was you, how have you managed knowing I make new friends and our connection, despite the distance? Like how have we navigated that scene? I really want to go first.
No, I want to go first. I
okay,
fun to this, because I remember there's a season when Lisa was collecting friends every single day, literally playing bingo. She's like, ta, 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 bingo, got you, type of thing. And I was just like, okay, this is nice. Like, I honestly didn't really think about it too much, because I am very secure in our friendship, and I know that what we have, we could possibly not get with others.
Yeah.
Love it for you. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm not really bothered so much by the friendships you make. It's just that sometimes the friends that you pick, I'm just like, hey, yo, but okay, if that's how you've decided, that's your thing. And then a few months later, she's like, guess what? I was like, I told you. Anyway, we move. Keep pushing.
That's the funniest thing.
Also because we live like in different continents. I came to Canada when I didn't know anyone. So, of course, I had to make friends. So, yeah, it is. I feel like, I have so many friends, but the friendship that I have with Lisa is not, you don't find that every day, especially because it started out. I know a lot of people say don't tie on friendships that you've been friends for like the rest of your life. You can make great connections, whatever. I hear that, but a lot of my best friendships or relationships have been with people I have known from childhood. So yeah.
Guys, I want you to play back the part where she says she'll not find it anywhere. I'm not blushing. Anyway, as I was, I really, really struggle sharing Paul. But that's just a personal trait. Like, I just don't like sharing. Like, I don't like sharing. I just find it such a hard concept. And I feel like Paul is my friend, and there's times when I struggle to share Paul with her siblings, like people she was born with, and I'm just like, no, I don't think you guys should be doing all of that. That's my friend. Don't do that. But I think what I have done, and I've done this, like, it's very intentional, is telling as long as you know me, Paul's my best friend. My best friend. Even if you see me with someone 10,000, if it's not Paul, that's my best friend. And what I have with Paul, I don't even double in like trying to create that relationship with anyone else. Like, that is her place. I honor it and I respect it so much that like I'm just like, I don't want. No thanks. I don't care if you do what. Like, I'm not going to explore a friend. I don't even let you speak in thinking of you can take up Paul's space. Like, if anyone says that If you don't want to be a best friend, nope. That's pause, please. Don't do that. Like, and I'm so serious about it. Like, even if you say it in jokes, even if that's when my face becomes straight, and I'm just like, nope, no, one's allowed to say anything pim about Paul, and I'm very, very intentional about that because I know that friendship that I have in Paul. I know. I keep telling people like. Paul is closer to me than a lot of like my blood family. And Paul gave me like siblings. Paul gave me a home. Paul is like a safe refuge. Paul is like a lot of things for me. I can't even imagine. And I feel like that's why I don't like sharing cars. I'm like, what if someone else feels the goodness of this man?
I'm smiling.
Shut up. Like, anyway. So I'm just like, what if someone else feels that this baby's so great? Like, don't. And then also I felt like there's a point again that season when I was just collecting friends. And I just felt innately like just affirm, I didn't the way you said you're not shaken in your position, I didn't think you were, but I just affirm to her, even through your communication with other people that this is your place. Ain't nobody gonna touch it. No one can think about it, period. And also, I think there's a final remark that I wanted to make. Also, that part of like discernment. You need someone who fully knows you and understands you to be able to discern your people for you. Now, Paul, when she's becoming people's friends, and this is why I find it so hard, like she takes so much time to become someone's friend. So when you've passed her barriers, like that's where I'm just like, why? Where has this one passed the barriers? Why? But I'm the type of person who like, I'll meet someone one day and I'm so excited. I just want to have lunch with you. I want us to be friends forever. Oh my God. And I just have I have Malo generally. And then I need a pal who is like in touch, like watch from the space. I'm like, okay, so that friend is are you sure? Are you certain? And then that's why she says, like, months later, I come back and say, I wasn't sure. I wasn't certain, but yeah, come and collect. So, do you have any final remarks on best friendship, Mukwano?
Guys, honestly, I would 10 out of 10 recommend everybody having a best friend because, boy, it's nice over here. It's nice.
Period. Guys, I think this is the longest episode we've had in a minute. I really, really want to thank you for listening into Conversations with Kanyomozi. We've recently started to post our episodes on YouTube as well. So in case you're not able to get them on Spotify, we're still working through Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts is on as well. If you're not able to reach it there, then you can definitely get it off our YouTube channel. It used to be visual, it's now strictly audio. You can also follow us on our social media handles. And if you want to follow me, I'm just Kanyomozi. Don't follow Pasha than like you can.
Yeah, no. Thank you.
Yeah, she's just my friend.
Thank
you so much. You're not first?
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into Lisa's podcast. See you next time.
Bye. Mwah.